Welcome to One on One on God 101. Our guest today is Kyland. You know him from Big Brother last summer. He made it to the final three. This summer, he is competing on the challenge. Kyland, welcome.
Hey, Julie, Final Four only, so close to the Final Three, but
Did I get that wrong? Oh, right. Ozza was in the final three.
yeah, but so close, and I'll take
It felt like the
it.
final three.
Exactly,
Okay.
it does, right?
We're going to talk about both experiences, Big Brother and the challenge, in just a moment. But first, God. We always ask our guests if they grew up with faith and God in their life.
Yeah, so I mean, growing up was actually split. So I had a split custody for my parents. They got divorced before I turned one, so I would do week to week. And at my mom's house, it was kind of like Christmas, Easter Catholic. At my father's house, they were Jehovah's Witnesses. So I grew up with a lot of God. It was just slight variations, and it was going back and forth each week, which was great because it allowed me to get like a lot of education on the Bible, on God, on two religions then, and then expanding out since afterwards.
So, who is God to you today?
Uh, to me, I would say right now that experience just made me very open. And I've talked to actually friends in similar experiences that had the inverse effect of seeing different perspectives on God really just turn them off of everything. And for me, it kind of did the opposite, where it just made me open to everything. So open to just being highly spiritual, and the fact of like I have having lived in these two different, um, similar but different religions. It's like I kind of developed a lack, not lack, but like I don't want to be. I'm not. I don't feel the right to say like, hey, this person's wrong or this person's right. As far as who God is. So for me, it's kind of just an openness to spirituality. But my tie into it is I go back to like Martin Luther King said, the moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And then uh, John Lewis said that justice is love in public. So I like to think God is this force of the universe that bends everything towards love.
Did you tap into your relationship with the Lord during your time on Big Brother and during your time on the challenge?
Oh, interesting. I mean, Big Brother, your mind is just going all the time on so many factors. And, I think some, I probably, I don't know that I did that much to be, I think I just felt so overwhelmed by everything that was happening. Um, sometimes subconsciously you pray across your fingers for something good that you need to happen. But so I guess that's talking to someone.
Do you pray today?
Myself, not so much. I would say that I definitely try and meditate and through like, and then sometimes just not even necessarily meditating as much as like sitting in silence and gratitude. And I've definitely had some mentors that have said like, compared that akin to praying and to focusing on gratitude and things that are bigger than yourself and just that relationship. So depends on whose definition, but I do find myself on occasion though praying because, like I said, the openness means that I'm around some people and that's more of how they express their connection uh, to different energies and to the universe and to God or whatever it is that works for them. And in those things, I've never been averse to praying. I always open up to prayer in those sort of groups.
Sounds like prayer to me, what you just described. Okay, Big Brother versus the challenge. Which was more difficult?
Oh man. Um, they're so different. And I know that feels like cop out, but it's just like Big Brother has this constant to it. So I've been asked like, hey, which one did you like more? And I feel like a similar answer of like the challenge is hands down more fun. Like it's just fun. But Big Brother, like I think that an experience can bring you more than just fun. And that's what Big Brother does. Like, yeah, it's fun, but it's also like mentally, psychologically pushing you to your absolute limits and emotionally. And so and it's just the fact that you're on all the time. Whereas like the challenge, you have downtime, you have 24-hour access to outside, you have you're not just seeing those people, you see production, you're talking to them, so it's like it doesn't have that isolation stuff. So I mean, as far as difficulty overall, for me as someone who isn't afraid of like heights and or at least condition myself to push past those fears of heights and speed and all those things, the Big Brother for sure just provides an overall more challenging environment in so many senses.
Let's talk about last night's challenge because you and Alyssa and others blindsided Xavier, got a little revenge on him. Why?
So what's funny about that is that we've obviously seen them really hyping the narrative of the revenge from Melissa and from Derek, which I like to comment on. Like, you know, there's a dictionary definition of revenge as in like affecting wrongdoing, but there's also the colloquial use of revenge. And you'll see like athletes at games, they'll be like, oh, we lost last time, we're here for our revenge. On a game level, that's what I mean. These people, Alyssa and Derek, have been emphatic supporters of the mission of the cookout, and so for it to be seen as they're not like that, I just, as someone who cares about them, like to express that and make that clear, because they have done that in the past, but it's kind of been forgotten about as the challenge has been happening. So as far as the revenge, like for myself, like there's been no interviews of me talking about it because I didn't. I never did. I never had a moment of thinking in terms of revenge. What's crazy is that I was actually very vocal about like, hey, like, you know what? Let's just, if he gets me again, he gets me again, but at least I have elimination this time so I can save myself. And like, you know, if we're down to work together, let's work together. But then, you know, I'm partnered with the person I thought was his number one ally in the house. And his number one ally, his best friend, is ready to send him home. So I'm like, okay, wait, if you couldn't work on this relationship in a way to protect yourself, like, kind of what good are you to me in this game? Like with the other relationships that you've told me you had. So obviously, phenomenal player in Big Brother, phenomenal athlete in the past, but like in this game right now. And then we started going through the house, and everybody's like, and everybody also is saying like, you know, there's this Big Brother alliance or Survivor alliance or whatever. It's just like, look at every single week, and besides the very first elimination, number 2, all Big Brother turned on Tiffany. Not me, by the way. I'm not in that episode because nobody told me, because they knew that I had Tiffany's back. Everyone in the house knew it, so that's why I'm not in the episode. But then the week, and then also Love Islander turned on Love Island that same elimination. The next one, Survivor all threw Dom under the bus, so that's why he ended up inside. The next one, then all of a sudden we have Big Brother, third, fourth organization on the list to put in somebody that is on their own. So it's just like people are saying, hey, this is your ally. It's like, no, an ally is someone that I'm working with, that I can trust, that is beneficial to me in the game. This person that doesn't have good relationships with the people I don't, and with the people that I do, unfortunately at this time, they're just not best for my game. As a person, love Xavier, nothing but respect and love. And then Shan, same thing, like all Survivor. They didn't show that in the episode at all, but everyone in Survivor, even people who I thought were like her close allies, were some of the most enthusiastic about her going in. So I was like, easy, this makes sense. Let me find the people who I can work with who actually can give me a strong position in this house.
So are you and Xavier okay right now, on good terms?
Yeah, I mean, I would never have what it would never have been like forgivable for me to not reach out to Xavier and get the opportunity for us to talk and reconcile after Big Brother, after the eviction India and Big Brother, because like we built this bond and this relationship and this brotherhood. We have this connection forever. The cookout does forever. And so for me to Xavier, like, I'm always gonna think of him like family, think of him like somebody that we bonded with. And you know, you might get upset with family or whatever, but that bond lasts there forever, and that's what the cookout is and the mission. And so the love and respect from me is always there. And usually it seems like he's just such a class act, you know. So he gets upset, as we saw, everyone does, but overall very quick to to keep the class that we have been so accustomed to seeing from him.
Excellent. Let's talk about this season of Big Brother. You've been keeping up. Just tonight, Amira was blindsided. What do you make of this season and how the house guests are playing?
Well, I mean, it has been, first off, it's such a weird experience to watch the game after playing the game that, such a small group of people can really fully articulate. I'm sure like you'd be the closest person that hasn't played the game that could feel that weirdness of watching it. And I don't know, it was obviously very stressful and very frustrating in the beginning to watch, some of the treatment that we saw specifically towards Taylor. Uh, and, but then it's hard to not have empathy for like everyone else because I know it's like, all right, these are every single person that is being pushed to their absolute limits on the psychological, emotional level. They're in competition with each other. We've seen this time and time again. They've shown like in politics where there's not, when people aren't playing games, like, but they're still against each other. If you give someone a talking points that are actually from the party that you're against, but you put it as the party that you're from, you're going to be like, yeah, I'm totally for those just because we have this tribalism. And so, you see that happen in the house where people are, you have that herd mentality and then they're also in competition with each other just to villainize each other. But definitely some things got out of hand and it has been really hard to watch. And, but I was really glad on a gameplay side to see some of the exciting things that have been happening as far as like this alliance being pulled together. There's multiple alliances going back and forth and multiple blindsides, one to just one person and then the other one to half the house, this most recent one. And so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's been unusual. Well, having been there and done that, do you think at the end of the season it'll all be water under the bridge and, everyone's going to get along? Like did any beef carry over from your season and then get dissolved once the game was over?
I mean, that's a person by person basis. I'd say overall, from what I've seen, we've been very fortunate with the Big Brother 23 cast that virtually all of us have a really good relationship. Whether that's a tight friendship or just, a good relationship as a whole or full on like best friends, some of us. Everyone, for the most part, there's not really that much beef. There might be one or two people here or there that have their thing. But as far as from the game, I've been so surprised because once you're in the house, then you realize because you watch, you're like, how can these people hang out? Like, I even had family members that would literally see me hang out with somebody and they'd be like, well, how could you hang out with this person? They said this. And I'm like, yo, it's like the MMA boxer like mentality. We're in the game. You're going to punch each other in the face, kick each other in the face, whatever. And then you get out and then you shake hands. That's the way, like, it's a game and that's what you got to do. Obviously, we had to have conversations on anything that we felt like crossed any sort of lines. And I hope that they can do the same. And I hope that those people, that everyone has an opportunity to learn from it and grow from it. I mean, I had the opportunity and fortunately, I also had the support of my cast to help me with that. So, I hope the same for them. And obviously, we want to reach out and, just like so many alumni did for us. That was the other cool thing. So many alumni reached out to be like, hey, like this is hard. And I know that no one will get it as much as you guys do in your specific cast, but at least I know part of it. I know some of what it's like and I want to reach out and support. And it was literally like so many different people from so many different seasons that reached out and it's been really beautiful, that community, and helpful. And hopefully we can do the same here.
Oh yeah, it is a family for sure. The final question is, what are you up to now? And did being in Big Brother change your life?
You know, it really did change my life being in Big Brother, which was funny because it was never like a thought because I didn't watch reality TV at all. I didn't know what the challenge was until I was in Big Brother and they started talking about it and telling me about it because they knew I liked competition. They're like, wait, how'd you not know about this? I was like, what? So I remember literally planning. I was like, even if I win, I'm just gonna, I'll buy, my parents a house and put a savings aside for family, and then go back to work. And then I got out of the house and I'm just